Hi, my name is Lily Grozeva. I'm leading the SEO team in VertoDigital.
Hi, my name is Zoran. I'm the founder and CEO of VertoDigital, and I very much look forward to have a discussion with Lily around the evolution of SEO.
Let's discuss a little bit what we've seen in the agency in the last, 4 years now, since late 21, when Jasper, Copy AI, and the similar GPT wrappers showed up. We've been actually having two waves of hype, right? The one with we can do all the content in the world for you, no matter how many pieces, no matter how heavy your content calendar is, we can execute it all, we can make you visible. Whatever wasn't possible until now it is. And we were very excited about this. We've made partnerships with Jasper. We've been doing I think it was around 5-6 clients that on board joined this
the Jasper revolution.
The Jasper revolution, yes. It was very exciting times. Obviously, like with every revolution, what happened was not what we expected. We didn't expect that it will take pretty much the same time with and without Jasper.
I don't think that we had expectations. It was just like, let's see what this leads us to, because things were changing so fast. Yep. So we just jump on the wave. I don't think that we had a clear expectations. We were just wanted to make sure that our clients are part of that conversation, and I think this is what we went through. So
personally, I hoped we would be able to solve the resource issue, like having the resources to produce content is always a struggle for any business. So we hoped we will tackle that, but after it became clear that it won't be so easy and more training adoption is needed, more editing from both sides, it turned out that,
What I came across, it was like 8 out of 10 CMOs, they were saying, I'm struggling with my resources.
Yep.
I'm expected to do more with the same resource. And this means that you need to be very creative to find out resource that actually somebody would do, a copy for the website, a copy for all the marketing materials, sales enablement. And then SEO comes on the table as well. Like, how do we get visible? So those CMOs, my conversations were very clear. Like, can you help us out with the production? Because we see you give us recommendations, and we have a very good plan. This is what we need to do. But when it comes to execution, this is where we fail. Yep. 8 out of 10. So what we actually did, it was like, let's figure out a way. And this was our thinking. So that's why we kind of jump on the wagon on Brightsonic, on Jasper as well. I do remember kind of going into partnership, discussing with those guys. They were exactly, we're solving for that problem.
Yep.
Like 80% of your clients, they're going to be struggling with with content production, and we can jump in. But this didn't turn out as we expected it. Yep. Key problem number one that I saw, it was that you needed to have a stakeholder in the organization in order to be able to produce something, send it over, so that person can read it, approve it, and then it can go out on some kind of a, either blog or somewhere else that the client publishes. But the problem was that when a client is expected to put their brand above or under that content piece,
huge resistance.
Exactly, needs to be very good. And people were comparing it. If somebody from my team writes it, and now the AI writes it, and it doesn't sound like humanish. I don't know, what's your, what did you saw back then?
That's exactly scratches it. Like, trusting the AI and the output, the quality of the output was huge issue. Like, obviously, again, we were very excited to try this and to solve these problems for the client. And I remember maybe 50% of the clients I talked to back then saying, let's try with something small, just a pilot, just a couple of content pieces, see what happens. Total resistance. I don't want any of this AI. It hallucinates. It's not the quality we need. It doesn't have the subject matter expertise we strive to provide. So total rejection on the spot.
I'm not even sure, was it the quality of the content or was the people aspect, being afraid? Like we were in a denial of fear phase of the technology. Like, is this AI? No, I cannot use it on my blog.
I think what you're saying is on top of the distrust that it's an AI.
In the quality of the content.
I almost forgot now that you're saying it, that there was also separate cases where people were saying, I literally don't want to touch it. It's going to take my job at some point. We are staying away from this. The distrust of being AI and the fear that it jeopardizes your job, it was like the two pieces together made it really hard to implement.
The way I saw this specific thing, it was you go on a meeting with a CMO, and the CMO should be visionary. So they say, our vision is to use AI in our organization. Of course, we need help from AI.
Of course.
It's expected more from us. We need to use the same resource. But when you then go and talk to somebody who needs to do the work, to execute on it, they kind of raise all kinds of barriers. From, is this something that's going to take my job? What I'm going to be doing? This is not okay. So I think Jasper was just a victim of the mindset, of too early mindset that it needed to shift.
Too early. So we tried this for, I think it was something like 12 to 15 months, something like that. And then ChatGPT hit, like the biggest PR and disruption happening, like the second wave, at least in my
Talk to me,
experience.
what does the ChatGPT revolution means for SEO? Like, be very specific, like one sentence. Because there is a lot of noise out there. I want to hear from you, like in a sentence.
What it means for SEO. Okay, so it means a lot for many things. For SEO in general, the most common conversation I come across is that, is it big enough in terms of user usage, like volume, to consider an SEO strategy, or it isn't big enough? For me, this is not the question. Okay. The question is it changing user behavior and user habits when it comes to search and user expectations or not? And I think it does, because what ChatGPT and the other LLMs are doing on the search, in the search space, is they're changing the expectation of the end user. The searcher now expects that when they go online, on no matter what platform, Google or else, they want an immediate answer. They will shy away from to need to go through blue links, to go back and forth on website, find, didn't find the information they're looking for, summarize the information for themselves, right? Okay. So even if we disregard totally the agentic part of it, like expecting an action rather than information, even just on the informational side, it's the user expectation will evolve drastically, and Google will have to keep up with this.
Okay, let's take a specific example. There is this company that I'm currently discussing and talking to, their VP of marketing, and they're trying to kind of reposition themselves. They have been a traditional backup company, and now they're saying, well, we have servers that you can actually use to store your training data for your custom LLM models, and be particularly good when it comes to video training data and audio training data. And they're saying, should we invest in creating content on our website, or should we do something else? How do we get visible in ChatGPT? What would be your advice to them?
This is very specific. It doesn't matter if it's multimedia or text. As of now, this is not that type of the specific is not really the point. The rules of getting visible will pretty much stay the same. Just the focus is shifting a little bit. Like, they still need to host all the content they have, text or video or audio or whatever it is, but they need to make sure that their whole ecosystem and the ecosystem of their users, the ICPs visiting and they're spending time in, reflects what is happening in terms of content offering and messaging on their website.
All right. This is great. Let me just repeat what I heard. So you're saying the website is not dead. Brands should continue working, or
Not that yet.
Not that yet. They should continue. We can get into this a bit more later. We should keep continuing investing in our website, but we should also start paying attention to where our ICP spends time as well. So we should be thinking the conversations should be held on our website, but also on other places. So our content strategy should reflect that.
Yep.
Is that what you're trying to kind of?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. If until now we are saying to the customer on our website, we can solve your problem, the conversation is shifting, like the focus is shifting to the ecosystem needs to say they can save your problem. This brand saves your problem in terms of citations, in terms of just being in other people's conversations. Like obviously this has been the situation before, just not to that extent.
Okay.
Like for example, user-generated content websites and platforms like Stack Overflow and Reddit and Quora have been in Yahoo Answers even.
Of course.
They've been in the conversations like for 10 plus years, for at least I remember that much. But the focus now is heavily on them and less on your content. Up until
on our website.
On our website. Up until the ChatGPT and the LLM visibility taken over, the brands were controlling the conversation, because still like over half of the offering and their visibility was controlled from what they say on their website. But now, in the last couple of years, it's not about what you say in your website so much. It's what the other people are saying. That you are the right vendor for something.
So what you're kind of suggesting, SEO is still needed. It's just evolving. If we were thinking that we need expanding. I love that word. So if we were just thinking, let's produce and stuff our website with various content topics and everything what we used to kind of focus on, now we need to expand. Now we need to say, well, go and figure out where our audience is and have those conversations, produce that content, or just. It should not be always we need to start the conversation to inform, but sometimes we need to be part of the conversation by providing a comment, providing a point of view, or providing a comparison.
Not just the content, just participating.
Exactly. How do we know where this is happening? Do you see anything that is changing, or new tools coming along, or how do we get to an insight that this is where we need to go and be part of the conversation?
We have spent in VertoDigital since the beginning of this year, 25. Personally, I talked to over 10 or 15 different vendors of the so-called AI analytics platforms. They all provide usually continuous monitoring of where you rank in the different LLMs, of prompts you come up with, because we don't have that data.
So you write a prompt and they will tell you, are you part of the answers or not?
Yeah, whether you're part of the answers or not, and who else is part of the answers, and what is the most important part, they tell you what is the training data and what are the sources that fed this answer.
Oh, the sources that actually the LLM used in order to answer that question. Great.
So you can see the sources. And with the AI search audits we did since the beginning of the year of 25, we saw that no brand we checked, the sources exceeded 25% to being from the website, the branded website.
Oh, wow, this is interesting.
So 25% of the conversation is controlled by your website, but the other 75% that are building the answer you're showing up with, if you're showing up at all, is built from your ecosystem.
So what you're saying, like 75% of the conversation that is happening outside of our website is actually controlling, is it a brand part of that conversation?
Yep.
in what way our brand is part of the conversation, in what way it's being perceived, what is the value.
Yeah.
So this is huge.
Literally, if the ecosystem, if your market is saying like this is the right vendor, like I cannot come up with a better analogy than this. Before ChatGPT, you were saying I'm the right vendor. Here are my capabilities. Here are the problems I'm solving. Here is my documentation, the commercial pages, like everything you have. Different campaigns, etc. But after the ChatGPT expansion, it's more about the market. Your ecosystem is saying this is the right vendor.
Okay, and you reference to the audits that your team is doing. Yeah. Talk to me more about, like, if I was a CMO of a tech company, B2B, how should I be thinking about those audits? Right now, I have a feeling that I need somebody to do the work. But walk me through, how are you thinking about those audits, and when does the work gets done?
Okay, so this is a very good question. We had a lot of dynamics, to say it that way, trying to figure out how to help the clients, what it is that they need, what makes them confident, because what most of the brands were losing in this hype was actually confidence what is going on. Most of the SEO strategies that they had for 25 were already budgeted, paid for, and half executed when the whole thing happened. And for example, many questions we have in initial conversations with clients was, but we are already doing SEO. Is it outdated? Should we continue doing it? Yeah. Should we fire the whole SEO team?
Yeah.
We needed to follow up the whole conversation around this topic very thoroughly, spend a lot of time on that to try to figure out, and lots of tests to try to figure out what exactly is working, and do we need to fire the SEO team, really? Obviously, the answer is no. What we came up with at the beginning of 25 is actually to try to help the clients get more confidence on where they stand, because it's not a one answer for everybody. There are bigger brands, there are smaller brands, there are brands that are visible in
it's
LLMs.
Different conversations that they want to
different conversations, and brands are in the middle of different journeys on their own. Like some of them are visible, some are not visible, some should be should fire the SEO teams, some should hire more SEO, so it's not a painkiller for everyone. But what we came up with is, okay, the least you can do and the most important thing you can do is just do an audit to find out what your status is, where you are. Are you visible? With what pages? If you're not visible, who is? What are the, for example, we have an internal approach of how we figure out the most likely prompts your ICP is typing in the LLMs. Let us do our magic and help you out.
Do you include all the prompts that the CEO of the company is typing in?
We tried.
Very important.
No, we didn't. But the point is, the most helpful thing we can do, no matter what stage the brand is to do an audit to figure out where you currently stand and what are the gaps you need to fill in terms of technical, in terms of content, and in terms of outreach and the visibility on the market. And obviously, we measure you against your competitors. Every brand knows who we're competing with.
So just to translate what I heard, what you said is, if I'm a CMO, again, going back to my CMO role, I really would benefit from such an audit, to have it, just to know where I stand. And this probably helps me to be clear on what where I would like to be. So in a way, audit probably closes the gap between where I am and where I need to be, or what is important for me. Either that be through the lens of the ICP, what is important for me, Is it one or multiple or subsegments of that ICP? Or do you have let's say, multiple topics where you need to be part of? Like it can be a backup solution, but also it can be LLM training, data storage. Which one is more important for me? So this probably becomes a plan, a part of the strategy that I need to execute against.
Each audit
tied to the business goals.
I understand what you're saying. In VertoDigital, we usually label audit something that far exceeds a normal audit.
Okay.
An audit is something that it just takes your status and give you a surface level recommendation of how ideally things should be in a perfect world. We go a little bit further than that.
Okay.
We actually estimate what are the resources, time, money, and people you need to and tools you need to invest to actually close the gap in your LLM visibility, LLM/Google AI overviews and AI mode, because we cover all that.
So you're just now you're moving into how do I execute?
Yep.
Okay, I love that.
We can
talk
give
to me
you
more.
I love your CMO role today. What we actually do is like build plans, like based on an audit and the different aspects of the audit. We build technical content outreach plans and tooling recommendations to what you need to invest. Again, a timeline, the tool stack, how many people, what functionality roles, how much time they need to spend on the different tasks to actually fill the gaps in technical content and outreach that will help you get more visible.
Okay, great. What else is important for a role of CMO? Should we plan like for a 3-month goals, or can you deliver something for yesterday, or how should I be thinking about measuring success of everything what we said?
Measuring success is a huge topic in the AI search landscape, mostly because the metrics and the KPIs we knew in the last, 20 years, like traffic, impressions, change their meaning or disappear altogether. For example, the average loss of traffic measured by the Google Search Console, for example, for most brands, especially in B2B, are around 30-35%, which means that
in the period of year-on-year traffic. Oh, wow.
Which means that for CMOs, first they need to understand that they will either adapt to that new lower expectations in terms of KPI, then figure out other way to measure success. Like obviously getting closer to revenue helps, but it's not always possible in this new scenario with AI search, because AI search is mostly happening without click.
Okay.
So we are even talking now about SERP audit without the actual without the actual click and traffic, and not to mention revenue at all. But we are moving away from the click and the traffic and the interaction, most of the KPIs we used to have.
So somebody is coming on my website, and that person is transacting with me, and I can see the last click attribution source, right?
That's pretty much all you will see.
But this, what you're saying, it's been influenced so much. It has so much dark element that you cannot actually see it. That person or that account, that company has formed their decision on which solutions to look at before coming on my website. And they're using my website just to come and transact with me. I request a meeting with my sales team. So there are a bunch of other metrics that I should be monitoring, which at least can provide me an insight into, am I part of that conversations where people are kind of forming their decisions on what is a short list of solutions they're going to be looking into, so that I can actually then have some kind of a shot
Some
at
insights,
my pipeline or targets that I'm aiming
CMOs
for.
will need to think more about brand-related metrics like impressions, share of voice, visibility in general, rather than interaction metrics like clicks. Like obviously conversions still work.
Okay, well, I've heard from few CMOs that they're saying, my board calls me every now and then. I need to go in front of my board, and my board will ask me, how are we doing in terms of impressions? How are we doing in terms of clicks and traffic?
Yep.
Should I stop having those conversations?
No, you can still report on impressions. Pretty much the same.
Okay. But then educate the board that there is more than just that impression, because if you just look at the impressions and clicks, you're going to see a bad picture, like 30 to 35% drop in traffic.
You need to isolate the clicks and the traffic from measuring success. You can obviously still measure them, but expect to have more interactionless KPIs. Because the way people, like as we started at the beginning, the way people search is changing. They don't need to click on your website to get the information they need. They don't need to get impressed by your brand or get their problems solved by your brand and remember you and return to make the transaction a day or a month later to make the click. So the click is not associated with the success anymore.
Right.
Like you don't need the click to actually get the leads, to actually get the sales and everything like that. So you don't need to measure that. And what is the wrong, what is actually misleading metric is actually the click and KPIs around clicks, because you are setting KPIs on your SEO team or your SEO agency around traffic and around clicks, and they're misleading. Like dropping in clicks, it doesn't mean you're not getting the impressions. It doesn't click, you're not serving your clients, at least on the top part of the funnel.
This can easily result you're not part of the important conversation that is taking place where your future clients are taking decision or forming the decision, and you're stuck in the old way of measuring success, and that's clicks and are they converting on your website, which means you're burning even more resources there, and the behavior of our clients is changing.
100%. I think this is the top consideration brands should have. The behavior is changing. Forget about what goes up and down on the interactions. The behavior is the thing that is changing, that actually affects the leads and the sales. Yeah,
it's provoking all the conversations.
For example, what you just said, it will lead, like stuck into clicks and stuck into where the traffic goes, it will lead to bad decisions. For example, there is no reason for us to participate in whatever user-generated platform. There is no reason for us to participate in this and that PR outlet because we don't get the traffic, we don't get the clicks, and it would be wrong because first, obviously you get the impressions and the brand building aspects of that, but also this will be the sources that feed the LLM results in the Google AI search results without you getting the click. So it's not only misguiding you in terms of measuring success, it will also lead bad marketing decisions after that.
Okay. My last question for the conversation. Do I need more money as a CMO in order to capture this opportunity, or I can work with the same amount of resource?
The answer
is... What would be your guidance here? And again, I believe there is no right and wrong, but just the thinking.
There is no right or wrong.
I love that.
It's a simple answer. Like if until last year or something like that, if until recently you only needed to market mostly on one place, your website, and a couple of places that you know that you will get the traffic, the leads, etc. And this was, let's say, $10,000 a month.
Okay.
Now you need to make sure you invest in new tools, in new skill set, and not new, expanded, additional on top of that, because the website might go somewhere, but it won't be in 26, probably not in 27 either. You will need to consider YouTube SEO.
Okay.
You will need to consider Reddit SEO. You will need to consider whatever else.
Okay.
You know, you will make an audience research and find out where else. But you will need to expand, and expansion requires more budget than less.
Okay. So I heard if I need to cut from somewhere, cut it from my CMS provider. Okay.
If you heard that.
Okay. Well, Lily, thank you very much for taking the time. I really enjoyed the conversation, and I hope that it's useful for our audience as well. And looking forward to continue this, because this is evolving in such a pace that I guess we should do this.
More
if
often.
not every month, at least every 3 months, because the landscape is changing, and that behavior, what you referred to a few times, it's really kind of driving what CMOs should be thinking and what kind of a partner agencies they should be looking for. Thank you.
Same here, Zoran. Fascinating times.